with a town. You hear church bells and voices of the city in the distance. You're guessing no more than a mile away. As you guys continue to stare at this, dark swirls of black smoke start to envelop the city inside the fog, and it disappears. What would you guys like to do?
Do you say, can we see the city, or we just hear the bells?
So you heard the bells, you saw the city, but as you guys were staring at it and questioning it, it just was covered up by black smoke inside the fog and just dissipated away.
Well,
So
we've got
did
the first
fog,
one.
Did the fog turn into smoke?
It was more as if there's some dark matter inside of the fog. That's kind of what it appeared like.
We're still on top of the mountain, right? Yeah.
I just say to the
You're
group,
still on top of the hill, yes.
I don't know what that was, but I don't get good feelings from it.
Should we finish trying to uproot this tree?
I'm not.
Keep in mind, it's about like 15 minutes from sunset. Just FYI, every time.
I'm not sure what more we could really do.
Yeah, I agree. The other thing is, I know you tried shooting a flaming arrow, but the other thing is if we were to, I don't know, soak it in some gas or oil and see if that could help burn the roots out, maybe. Other than that, I don't know what else. What other ideas to try? I don't know if you have any ideas, Lucan.
Well, we need to start a fire for the night anyway. Maybe we could try.
We could set up camp here and try lighting it on fire.
Esmeralda speaks up. Don't you think that would draw attention to us up here? A big flame.
I agree with Esmeralda.
I do too. That's a good point.
Do you think that anything will be able to see us up here above the fog?
Yes.
The fog, so the hill isn't covered in fog. It's like to the west is a wall of fog. The fog currently is acting as like a barrier to the land.
I get like that, but aren't we like at such a high elevation that there's like, are we like above like, are we like, because like
like in the clouds? You're not quite that higher. The hill's probably at the peak 300 feet. It's not outrageously high, but it's just like a large mound. That's probably, if you were to walk around, it would take some time.
So do you guys want to go out without a fire tonight?
Do you guys think we could do just like a regular small one rather than like a giant blaze?
I would be okay with that.
What about you, Esmeralda? What do you think?
I think that would do. Maybe if we do it more towards the center of the hill, more have a vantage so no one other than from above can see us.
All right, sounds good to me. Fury, do you want to start the fire?
I guess. Fury kind of walks over more towards the center of the hill, quite a few yards away from where you guys were just having this conversation, and takes some dried grass from the top of the hill. He also brought some branches from the tree, sticks it in a pile no taller than about a foot high, and he just torches
Does
it.
it light on fire?
No, it does not. Yeah, it does.
Oh.
It lights on fire, no problem. The flames, though, however, this time are more of a green burning.
Do they smell like anything? Like, does the smoke smell like anything?
You don't smell anything, but if you were to be really quiet and listen, you guys occasionally, like, throughout the night, could hear screams. And for the first few times, you kind of would look around thinking it's coming from somewhere else, but eventually as time goes on, you notice it was coming
So
from
what do the
fire.
screams sound like?
Just distant, high pitches of bloody murder.
Male or
screams.
female?
Am
Am I turned off
a
by
whole
this?
mix. Male, female, children. You
Okay.
specifically are not turned on.
Good. Wait, does that mean someone is?
Fury.
He stares at the flame for quite a while, the green shining in his eyes, sitting with his knees up kind of towards his chest, arms around, no farther than 2 feet from the fire. Just staring into it nonstop. Lucan, you, as this fire, since the fire has been going, you kind of feel not a painful pain, but like a uncomfortable pain deep inside of you.
I'm gonna turn away from the fire and just like kind of go towards the edge of the cliff facing the fog and just kind of like stare out into it and kind of just observe what's going on.
So, I'm assuming at this time, I'd say about an hour or two has gone by. You guys have eaten. Sun has definitely set. You walk away from the camp towards the edge of the up to the edge of the hill. I'm assuming you take the shortest path, which kind of leads you back towards the tree, not like directly at it, but just a little off to the right of it. And in that direction, you go through kind of a grove of other trees that surround this black tree. And I need you to make a perception.
Sorry, just give me a minute.
I got an 8.
Looking at that.
Oh, sorry.
Nope, sorry, just Lucan right now. Yep.
I rolled for him.
8.
So as you walk through this grove, as you look around, kind of just making your way towards the edge, you notice that there are a few bodies just laying dead against trees, skeletals, moldy bones, much like the one that Esmeralda pulled the axe off of. Nothing out of the ordinary. None of them look too fresh. There's like one that looks semi-decayed. The others look, at this point, are just bones with rags on them. Seems to be in this area for hundreds upon hundreds of years.
Are you saying that I can determine that they're hundreds of years old? Okay.
Yes. Some of them are dressed like the forest people, someone dressed like the mountain people. There is a slight difference. The mountain people kind of have more of a robe gown on them, whereas the forest people are more of a pants and shirt, or not shirt, but pants and top kind of outfit. Both have earthy tones in their wardrobe. Occasionally you see what assuming is a priest or priestess. Can't tell the gender as of right now, but just on their heads will have like a skull and antlers coming off of their caps. And as you look back and forth going through this grove, you stumble upon something. You look down, and when you kicked it, it moved. When you look down, there's probably a 3-foot staff or rod, a 3-foot long rod. As you reach down and pick it up, it's kind of a brush metal appearance. The handle is kind of a octagon more than a round shaft. On each end, there is a horse facing the opposite direction as the other. And on one end is a button. It appears. A button.
Can I, am I able to tell where I think the staff, came from? Was it with one of the two tribes of people?
No. So I didn't really describe, but along with the other bodies, you do notice there were other bodies that looked like just normal adventurers that ended their journey here.
Are they more recent?
Nope, they're all seem to be ages. This does not appear druidic. It seems more of a magical wielded item more than a nature item. So you're assuming it probably came from one of the adventurers.
I want to point the staff away from me. Actually, I'm gonna hold it in the middle of the staff so both ends are pointing outwards, side to side, but make sure that nothing is in my peripherals. And I'm gonna push the button.
Sure. All right. So you hold the staff out. You kind of wince away, just not knowing what's about to happen, and you press the button. All of a sudden, it appears that the staff got lighter in your hand. But besides that, nothing else happened. And you're just kind of wincing and slowly releasing from it, still keeping your hand on the rod with your thumb over the button.
And nothing else happens?
If anything, you notice that your hand probably got. I mean, like your hand, like as it got lighter, you probably like released your muscles a little bit to the point where like your arm is starting to relax on the rod.
Okay. But like nothing came out of the ends or anything like that? Okay.
Nope, nothing. No flash. No moved item.
I'm gonna wander back to the group and show them what I found.
So as you start to pull the item down, pull the rod down back to where along your side, it's not moving whatsoever.
Like I can't move my arm?
Nope. Like you can move your arm, like you can move it and try to pull, but the rod itself
Can we
is
see
not
him like
moving.
struggling with this, or
he's probably
hello?
Yeah.
yeah, can you hear me? Okay. He's probably 50 yards away, and it's dark. So I don't think either one of you has the big enough night vision
What do you
to
mean
kind
big
of
enough
see
night
this going
vision?
on.
Night vision's the
Like
same thing for everybody.
isn't but
You're
it's
talking
like
about
6
dark
feet,
vision?
correct? Dark vision, yes, not
I
night
believe
vision.
it is. Let me just double check that really quick.
And I think even
I don't
only
have
you have it.
Fury.
99% sure
Yeah.
as a half elf I have it.
Fury does, yeah.
Fury should have it, yeah. And Esmeralda does not have it. But so yeah. Lucan, as you try to like pull this
Press the
rod,
button
what do
again.
you do? You press the button. As soon as you press the button, the weight comes back, and your arm you just poof, pull it into your chest.
Dark vision is 60
Just-
feet, shades of gray.
Just a heavy pull or like yank into your chest, Lucan. I'm not gonna say you saw this.
Okay.
None of you saw it due to the distance in the nighttime. However, if you listened closely, I
We
would
can hear him hitting
say
himself.
you may have. Yeah, I would say you may have heard a few grunts from from the action of Lucan. But Lucan comes back without making it to the edge of the hill. Now with this 3-foot long rod in his hand.
I found this on one of the bodies in the grove next to the tree. It's kind of interesting. It doesn't look like some of the other bodies and relics that we found. I think this may have came from a past adventurer, but it appears to be quite old. And I can't quite figure out what it does. Can I do like a history check on it or anything, Corey? Or
You may, yeah. Go ahead and do a history check.
Can I help him out with that? Okay.
Yeah.
Give
you
me
may.
a sec. I'm in my kitchen, so that'll be a moment. Yes, please.
Would you like me to roll for you? Okay. Actually, Lucan, go ahead and just do a history check with advantage.
Meta, I hate it when you open up a new jar of mayonnaise and it's too spicy.
Spicy mayonnaise?
Yeah, you know, you gotta let it air out a little bit. I told you, I'm tired!
Hey, Lucan,
sorry,
how's
I
it
had to,
going?
re-sign into D&D Beyond.
Ah.
10. Oh, never mind. 17.
Yep. That the 10 would not do it, but that 17 will. You've heard of this item before, or which you assume is the item you've heard of. Due to the nature that you interacted with it earlier, you think this is the immovable rod. A rod that, when you press the button, it just defies all gravity and physics and just stays in place.
You play with the rod, it gets hard. I'll see myself out.
It possibly could be something I've heard of before called the immovable rod, but I don't know. I'm still not quite sure what it does. Other than obviously it can't, it stays locked into place. Can I try something, Corey? I wanna hold the staff out again.
Yeah, go for it.
And press the button, and then I want to take my hand. Can I take my hand off of the rod?
Okay, you want to hold out the staff?
He wants to see if it'll levitate.
Right.
Okay, when you say staff, you mean the rod. Okay. Yeah. So you stick out the staff same way as before. You press the button, and this time instead of pulling or anything else with it, you just simply let go of the rod, pull your hand back, and the rod stays perfectly where it was when you press the button.
Interesting. All right, I'm gonna grab the rod again and press the button.
You grab the rod, press the button, and again just releases. Just FYI, this rod is like 2 pounds max. I mean, it's solid metal and it has some heft to it. So what? Now what?
I'm gonna.
As you guys are doing this, Fury is still in his trance at the fire, just staring into the flames.
I'll go sit down next to him.
There's only the way that we came up
Sure.
as the only entrance to the hill, right?
Your way. That's the only path leading down, yes.
But leading. Oh, so like, yeah, okay. Yeah.
Leading up, leading down, yeah. It's kind of a gradual climb up the hill. Like, if you want, you can kind of exit anywhere. You'll just have to It's not like it's
Yeah,
not like a
yeah.
complete drop off, but yeah.
So I kind of turned to the group and I'm like, so is anybody gonna keep watch, or are we gonna work together on keeping watch?
Fury kind of looks at you guys. I'm going to bed. Good night, y'all. And just kind of lays down back against the fire and just curls up in fetal position and goes to sleep. As Esmeralda chimes in, as she looks at Fury with a disgusted face, and I'll take the first watch.
I can take
Okay.
second after you, Esmeralda.
Who do I wake up? Okay, Myth.
I can take the third.
Alright. Yeah, and then I'm assuming each one's about 2
Yeah.
hours, so I'm assuming. So. So yeah, you all go to sleep. Esmeralda takes the first watch. The 2 hours go by. Nothing appears to have happened. At this time, she walks over and kind of moves Myth to wake him up lightly, not to frighten him too much. It's your watch.
Thanks for waking me.
Good night. And she kind of moves back close to the fire and curls up. During your 2 hour watch, is there anything you want to do?
Are we closer to the tree or to like the statue?
I
Okay.
would say you're closer to the statue than the tree.
I'll climb up the statue to kind of take a wide view, kind of look around to see if there's anything going on.
Sure. So you move over to the statue. This is the first time you get a close-up look at it, with enough time to look at it. And as you climb up and you just kind of just take notes of your surroundings, you notice that it's the kind of like the sculpture is made from you kind of like, as you climb up, you take note that it's almost as if a creature is inside of the statue. Not like inside, but like the statue itself is made from a creature. Much like the other blights you've seen, either vine blight or
Am I assuming
a twig blight.
Am I assuming that it's
much
made
larger.
up of a bunch of small blights put together, or am I assuming it's just like one giant blight almost?
This looks like one giant blight, like a tree
Okay.
blight.
Getting this vibe, I climb down out of caution and a little bit of fear.
Okay. You slowly climb down, continuing to watch where your movement is, trying not to make a big adjustment. Kind of always peering back at the face just to see if it does anything. But you're able to climb down, no problem, and slowly back away, continually to face it.
Unless something happens the rest of my watch, I just kind of keep an eye on that cautiously, and then continue to check surroundings.
Sure. Go ahead and make a perspective.
Yep.
Or perception. I'm sorry. Perception.
14.
Other than that, your night kind of goes pretty smoothly. Visually, however, audibly, you hear in the distance wolves. Many wolves. But more of a beastly wolf, you're not 100% sure it could be a larger dire wolf or
Okay.
maybe even a werewolf. The howls have so much more of a blood-curdling howl.
Okay.
But besides that, your night goes uneventful, and your 2 hours are up.
All right.
You move over back to the camp, and you go up to Sir Eldridge. And again, much like Esmeralda, you kind of shake him a little bit, not to startle him, but wake him
Sir
up.
Eldridge, it's your turn.
Uh,
Nothing too much to report. I did hear a bunch of wolves in the distance, as well as I climbed up on the statue again for a vantage point, and I get a uneasy feeling that it's almost like a giant, tree blight, but it didn't move or anything. But I just had a weird feeling about it.
okay.
Enjoy your watch, and with that, I go to bed.
I start singing softly to myself. Not singing. I don't know where I'm going with that. But I guess I kind of go over and I investigate the statue a little bit more, just to see if I find anything with it.
Okay. So yeah, you walk over to the statue, and after hearing what you heard from Nith, it's still, to you, it looks like Strahd, but again, just like Nith, you kind of notice this creature inside of it. Kind of the base is made up from this creature, and it, meta-wise, it looks like Groot, but with other vines wrapped, kind of more entangled with him, to make up this large creature that's probably 20
Does it
feet
look
tall.
alive?
Nope.
Does it look
Looks-
restrained like it's captive?
Go ahead and make a nature check.
— 16.
It looks hollow and shallow. As if there's no life.
Okay.
Again, throughout the night, nothing that you see happens. However, much like Nith, you also hear the beastly howls in the distance. It seems to be coming anywhere from the east to the north.
Can I
But you're not able to... What? Go ahead.
determine how many there are, or estimate how many there are?
You can go ahead and make another nature check.
Ooh, 14.
If you're not 100% sure, but if you had a guess, I'd say you'd say north of 5. There do seem to be a call and response happening, and you can kind of pinpoint at least 5 directions. One being directly east, and the farthest one from that being directly north, and then at least probably 3 other kind of directions between that, from the northeast direction. But besides that, you don't have a strong indication of how many
Okay.
there are. Besides that, nothing else happens during your watch. The 2 hours go. And you're assuming that it's either Fury's or Lucan's turn for watch.
I go wake up Lucan.
Alright. You walk over to Lucan and you kind of shake him, not to startle him too much. He wakes up.
Oh. Get some rest.
Are you telling me to get some rest, or are you
Yeah.
wanting to get some rest? Oh, okay. I tell him, about the statue, that I looked at it, everything. Tell him that you kind of pinpoint where I think the wolves are, but I don't really see them as a threat or anything like that. And then I go to sleep.
Alright. Lucan, for your 2-hour watch, what would you like to do?
So do I have a full rest now?
Yeah, since you're kind of last person, you have a full rest for this, yes.
Okay. I'm gonna kind of go over to as far as I can go over to where Sir Eldred said he heard the howls coming from. I'm gonna go over to that side of the mountain.
Yeah, so you walk over to kind of the northeast side of the mountain, and you kind of just peer off the edge, and you notice much like the other two, just howls coming from your right and from your left, kind of off in the distance.
Can you hear me okay, sir? Hello?
I can hear you, yeah.
One of my headphones went out, and it was really annoying to only have one, so I kept coming in and out. So I need to get some more.
Okay.
Right now.
You kind of sound muffled. Yeah, a little bit.
I'm gonna call Solo.
You kind of see it takes a little longer, but you kind of see him take off from the trees from the north, kind of takes off, starts flying up, swirling around
with a tree.
And then as you stick
with a tree.
With a tree, okay. You hold out your arm with the tree, and at that, he kind of comes immediately swooping in, fast and hard. Last second, pulling up a little bit, flapping harder, slow down, and lands immediately on your arm, and takes the treat from your hand. He's just chewing his treat.
Pat him on the head, me a little bit.
Kind of tilts his head up, much like a cat, and kind of closes its eyes.
I'm gonna cast Speak with Animals. Hey Solo, do you think you could do me a favor and kind of go towards where that howling is coming from and see how far they are away and exactly what is out there, what kind of wolf there is out there, and and come back to me. But
I can, yes.
Don't get too
and at
close.
This point, he kind of
keep yourself out of it.
Yes. And at this time, he kind of flaps off, taking immediately direction to the north. And while he's off, what are you doing?
Just looking out into the distance, like waiting.
Okay. So as you're looking off in the distance, you can see Solo. He kind of makes his way north, or not north. He makes his way east. He flies quite a distance out, and he starts to circle. His circle is kind of meandering a little afterwards from that direction. He comes a little closer, but he's still probably a good mile out from the hill. Circles around there, and then he kind of shoots off farther north and making his way a little west as well. Kind of like with a making his way around the hill to the north side, and he's making multiple circles, and eventually he lines up directly north of the hill, and on his last circle starts to head back towards you.
Okay, I'll hold out my arm again for him.
Yeah, so as you hold out his arm, he comes landing in again, lands on your arm. I see werewolves. Multiple packs of werewolves. Yes. Some had groups of 3, others had groups of 2. One to the north, farthest away, had 5. Quite a bit of distance.
In your time here, have you dealt with werewolves much? Have you encountered them much?
I've seen werewolves before, but I stay my distance.
Have you ever seen this number of them before out in this?
Oh yes, hunting. They always seem to split up in groups and hunt for the
Do you
den.
think that they have been following us, or do you think we're safe that they don't follow us?
I think I wouldn't worry too much. I would be cautious going bad directions, but
Thank you so much. And I'm gonna give him
overall,
like a little morsel and then let him fly off.
sure. He kind of makes his way back north from by the tree that he kind of came from, and kind of just perches up there. You can kind of see him on the top branch, sticking above. He kind of shows a taller tree more than the surrounding trees, and he just hunkers down there. What else do you want to do for your watch?
I'm gonna go back over to the side of the hill with the fog, and just like raise out and see if it's still I'm assuming like it's starting, like is the sun kind of starting is it starting to get lighter out at this point?
I mean, due to the cloudy, it's a lot of light is blocked, so it maybe like got lighter a little bit, but it's not like morning dusk kind of light.
So can I I'm just gonna kind of observe and see if I can notice anything different in the fog, and if I can still see it was like a town, right? Or like bells that I hadn't noticed. Can I see that still? Just
yeah. So as you make your way back towards the other side of the hill, and you look out to the west to the wall of fog. This time, like, you look through and it's clear again. This time you don't see a town. You see a battle happening off in the distance. 2 armies, one coming from the north, the other one coming from the south, charging horses, spears and arrows being released and thrown. You hear a bunch of swords clinging against each other, bunch of yelling, murderous yelling of men. And you hear in the far distance a dragon. And then as you get scared and you hear it, you then see it off also in the mist. Just this large dragon just come from the sky, swoop down, and just appears to be pushing fire out along the army. The fire that it releases does not give any light from it. It just seems to be a thicker fog coming from his mouth.
What color's the dragon?
As it goes, you can't make colors off. Everything just really is shadows.
Do I get the impression that this is a mirage?
Go ahead and make an intelligence check.
$18.
Yeah. You start to wonder, like, something seems off here, because now as you look off, you can kind of see the same distance as before, but you notice that there is no steeples, there's no towers, there's no city, there's no village life that you can hear. It's only an expansive battlefield happening out in the distance. As a few minutes go by and you're watching this again, much like before, this dark, imminent gas, fluid object comes rushing in from both sides and covering up what you just saw, until it's this dark gray into the mist that you see.
With that, I'm just gonna kind of sit there, on what I appear to see, and just kind of like sit there and wait for the rest to awaken.
Sure. So you sit there for about 30 minutes or so. At this point, Esmeralda kind of comes over. At this time, she's woken up and kind of comes over silently to you, looks at you, gives you a nod, and kind of sits down right next to you. As well, she looks off to the distance.
Tell me, what do you see?
I see nothing. It's just a wall.
It's just fog, is that what you said?
Yeah, it's just a wall of fog.
Is that what I see too?
Yep.
I seen a battle.
A battle?
One with a great...
What kind of battle?
Many men and a great
one with
dragon.
What? A dragon. Oh. Interesting. I haven't seen dragons in this area.
I don't think it was real. I don't think anything that we see in that direction is.
Do you think it's Strahd toying with us? Or the greater power over this land?
Yeah.
At this time, it starts to get lighter. The rest of the party is starting to wake up.
Yeah, I believe it was Strahd.
Just doing intelligence. I think it's something greater than Strahd here.
Something greater than Strahd?
Yes,
So you don't think Strahd's the one controlling the fog?
Strahd is powerful, but where does he get his power from? He was once human, no?
Yeah.
How did he become the way he is?
Well, from his tome that we read, I believe that he got his power from ancient dark power. But it was pretty vague. I'm not sure exactly what that means.
Interesting.
I do know that there's a castle over in that direction. Isn't there? Doesn't that show up on your map?
What
One we're
direction?
looking in.
No, the map ends where you guys are.
Do you know what's out there?
To the end of Barovia, that's all I know. No one's that I've heard has gone that direction and come back to tell about it.
Jacob and or to Nith and Sir Eldridge, don't we know that there's a didn't somebody tell us that there's a castle to the west?
No, I think you're thinking the one to the. I think there's one to like the south.
Or not
The
to
one that we've already been to?
No,
No,
not
the
that one.
I said west, I meant east. Isn't the doesn't I don't have it right on me, but doesn't the doesn't it say something about a castle?
Like up in the mountains.
But that was the Abbey.
No, the Abbey is to the north of us.
I know, but the prophecy per se.
I remember talking to somebody. I thought we talked about to somebody like after the Abbey. So it wasn't like part of the prophecy. It was about a different part of the prophecy.
Yeah, I think it was. Well, it was either part of the prophecy or it was maybe from that guy in
Because we still have the one prophecy left to do, and then he was talking about it was up in up in a castle surrounded by mountains or something like that.
I don't really like you guys having this.
I guess I wasn't envisioning it as meta. Was everybody else?
Well, I said yeah. Yeah,
I mean that's kind of how it started.
I said meta to just talk to you guys like, as like, yeah, player to player more so than just like our in-game character. But
I mean, easily Lucan kind of Lucan kind of has this thought. Kind of quickly gets up and moves his way back to camp. Esmeralda is following shortly behind. And then this conversation ensues. As you guys have this conversation now, now it continues. Sorry.
Yes, there was the last or one of the last prophecies that we were told about. They said it was in a castle up on mountains, but not like the Abbey.
Yeah, and yeah, the prophecy cites that the hooded one waits for us in the end of the mountains, and we found Esmeralda a Vista wandering this land looking for a mentor at Markovia's Abbey, a temple deep in the mountains. Corey, when I was looking off in the distance, did I know?
Where did you read that one? Where did you read that last prophecy?
From the one Micah posted on General.
Okay. I think something like
Yeah,
that.
because we had asked it. I think it was supposed to be Vistani instead of this, something, whatever it says.
Temple deep in the mountain. Okay, so someone go ahead and make a history check.
22.
Okay,
Oh,
yeah.
sorry, I lied.
So, oh shit, you can't do that. You can't do that. You weren't there.
Oh shit.
I'll roll.
Damn it! And it wasn't even a 22. It was a 25.
16. Well, whatever. 16 plus my modifier.
So, you
17. Sorry,
16 plus
I had to
the
look at my
modifier.
modifier. Yeah.
So, okay. So you remember the hooded figure waits for us at Markovia St. Abbey near the mists, not the mountains. You remember the sun sword. Look to the west, find a pool blessed by the light of the white sun. And you remember the tome. Look for the wizard's tower on the lake. Let the wizard's name and servant guide you to which you seek. And then you remember that your enemy is a creature of darkness whose powers are beyond mortality. He lurks in one place to which he must return, a place of death.
So I repeat. Sorry, go on.
And finally, one last one that you remember. This card tells you about the power for good and protection. A symbol of great hope. See the faceless god. He awaits for you at the end of the long, winding road deep in the mountains.
I repeat all this information to the group. Point out that the one was the Sun Sword. The one was what we believe to be Esmeralda. The one talking about how he has to return. To me, that sounds a lot like Strahd. What was not the very last one you said? What was the other one? Oh, the tome. The tome. Yep.
Talking about the tome,
and then
yeah.
the last one. I repeat that and say that would be up in the mountains with a long winding road. And I believe someone told us that the name of that mountain, maybe or maybe not. Meta. I don't remember if I think someone told us like where to go for it, but I don't remember. Exactly.
Go ahead and make another history check on this fact.
17.
So yeah, you remember talking to the dark elf outside of Valaki, and he mentioned a temple south, far south in Barovia, kind of built on top of this inside a large mountain, but you can't remember exactly what the mountain was called.
And I repeat that to the group.
From where I looked, or when I was like looking off the edge of the cliff towards the fog, were there mountains in that direction? Okay.
There were not.
What direction was that?
That was your way looking.
Oh, so the
directly
fog
west.
was to the west, and the wolves were to
Correct.
the north, right?
Meta,
Correct.
we're like on the far west side of the map. So like,
So Esmeralda kind of comes over to you guys and kind of pulls out the map, unravels it. And if you guys can take a look at it, and she kind of points kind of 2/3 down the left side of the map. You see this dark hill. I believe they're here.
So we're like all the way west.
You guys are like on the far edge.
Is this
west
in
side.
images, correct? Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, this is in images, correct.
Yeah, so look at the map. I assume the last one is on that, like, the southern mountain with that, what looks to be like a winding, it might be a river, like, never mind. But I assume that's talking about those mountains on the southern middle part of the map.
Ooh, what was the prophecy? And this time you're able to recite it in full, no problem, word for word. This card tells of a powerful force for good and for protection, a holy symbol of great hope. I see a faceless god. He waits for you at the end of a long, winding road deep in the mountains.
Meta, what was the initial question that led us onto this thing? Or onto this discussion?
Lucan was thinking that one of the clues led off to my belief, off to the west.
No, sorry, I meant east. When I said west, I meant east.
Oh.
But I thought, which, I mean, technically I don't know if we can go any. I don't know what Esmeralda said. She didn't really know what is west of here. So, yeah, but I meant east. So I think
You might be thinking of, like, Strahd's castle.
I don't know. Maybe I just assumed that whoever that we're supposed to meet would have will be in a place, an ancient place. I guess it's just what I was envisioning, but I couldn't clearly remember off the top of my head what Madame Eva's prophecy was. Do you guys think that's what our next step is?
We could also, there's still one more of those gems we could get. That was from the winery. That there's still the one that's missing that we could go get to trade in for some coin and maybe some weapon upgrades. With this, I look at Esmeralda and say, I have the one gem. I'm more than happy for you to get the second one. But since we just met you, I don't fully trust you. And if we were to just outright hand this to you, again, I'm sympathetic to Fury blowing up your cart. But your cart comes second to our overall mission of defeating Strahd. I'm more than happy to, again, get that second one for you. But I don't necessarily feel super comfortable giving you the first one, just in fear that you would just leave.
I really don't think she's going to do that. I'm pretty sure she's going to stick around for the long run.
Again, I assume so too, but I would just feel better.
Well, I did come here to kill Strahd in the first place. Whether or not I stick around with you idiots, That's
and then
another
with that,
story.
I look at Sir Eldritch and kind of raise my eyebrows, like,
I just brush it off.
So, where to,
I
boys?
say we go to the next suspected location of the gem. It was like Babalazia, something like that.
Go ahead and make another history. Unless someone else can just straight out remember it.
Please hold.
Well, I know that's where we need to go. I just don't know how to pronounce her name.
Oh,
Yaska. Yeah, I know
Baba
that's
Yaga.
like who has it. I just didn't know how to pronounce the last
Oh.
name.
Right, but do you remember where you have to go?
No.
Hey, Corey, what was that rod called again?
Yeah. Immovable rod.
Oh, she's in the swamps of Bresk. You're talking about Baba Yaska, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, she's in the swamps of Bresk.
Let's go for it, boys. And girl.
And do any of you know
Doesn't matter.
what that is?
Oh,
Yes.
then no.
I think isn't it like
Again,
I would say isn't it
she
like
pulls
just
up her
straight
map.
east of us? Like look at the map I'm pointing at, not the like from the big mountains on the bottom. If you go up north a little bit to the little windmill, and then west a little bit, there's that one castle. Not that one, but kitty corner a little bit south, or just from where we are, straight east. I believe it's this. I point to it.
All right. It looks good enough. Yeah, it looks like ruins. It's along the river that I remember. We can go try it, yeah. How should we go about this?
First, last night when I was taking watch, the statue at the top, I had a weird feeling about it. I told Sir Eldridge about it. It just almost seemed like it had like life to it, almost like a giant tree blight. And I don't know if anybody else looked at it over the course of the night or wants to look at it now. I just get an uneasy feeling about it. I don't know.
Where did you say you seen a big tree blight?
The statue of Strahd. When I was climbing it There's it almost seems like it's, there's some sort of life within it.
The statue itself?
Yeah, the statue itself.
As you guys go over to the, I'm assuming you guys move over back to the
Yeah.
statue. For those who want to, go ahead and make an investigation.
I don't know.
Oh,
I kind of like share what I found. That I agree. There's something in there, but it doesn't seem to be alive. That's how I put it. Investigation, you said? 19.
Yep. Okay. Esmeralda got the same. Oh, I should probably do Fury.
I got a 20.
Also
22.
19. 22. All right. So now in the daylight, as you look closer, it looks to be in the same status as it was last night. But this time with more just getting closer and getting nitty-gritty with it. And also remembering what you were told about the gems. You think that you probably stopped something from happening by taking out the gem.
I say the group. I wonder if they were trying to, kind of reanimate the statue with Strahd, and maybe it's kind of the residual. I'm feeling a residual effect of that, which would make sense.
I wonder
with Sir Eldridge was saying that it's dead.
I wonder if they covered up the original god with Strahd, and
We lost you. If you had more thoughts.
I mean, I have thoughts. I'm just not really sure what they are. I think they covered up the old god with Strahd, and this thing that we're seeing is the old god. That's what I think.
Esmeralda chimes in. I think that's both of those are possible.
I vote we put the gem back in and see what happens.
Not gonna happen.
Let's not. I prefer if we just keep it to our imaginations. But I think we have a long ways to go. Let's get going. Shall we cut through, or should we stick to the paths?
Late last night, early this morning, I had Solo scout the area that the wolves were howling in. They were mostly to the north. He said that there was multiple packs, a group of 2, a group of 3, maybe another group of 4, and even farther to the north there was a group of 5. And he said, from his time here, that's not uncommon to see that many wolves out hunting at once. I don't know if they're only really out at night, but I think we should avoid going to the north as long as we can.
Let me tell you something about werewolves. As she finds a rock nearby, and Esmeralda kind of puts up her prosthetic leg, mechanical leg. Would be safer in the day. It's nighttime you want to look out for.
All right, then I think we should take the most direct path.
Most direct path or just shortcut path?
What do you mean? What's the difference?
Yeah, go ahead, sorry.
Well, I was thinking a little direct path would be sticking to the path, but just
No, the
sticking only to
most
that.
direct line between us and what we think is the swamp.
So shortcut.
Sure.
I think we
Okay.
should stick to the actual road. Tends to be the safest in our experience.
Looking at the map, we'd have to walk a very long ways to continue on the path versus if we were to at least take a shortcut until you get to that first path. Eventually we'd get to a path and we'd be able to be on the path for a while rather than walking all the way back to the winery, all the way back to Kresk, and then
But if you look here, and she kind of points to the area in between the two, there's a range of mountains. Do you think we're really saving that much time by going over the mountains instead of sticking to the path around the mountains?
Well, there's
There's a
path
road
that
that-
goes through the mountains.
yeah, there's a road that cuts directly through the mountains.
I think the road goes through the mountains, but you're still up on a mountain, and you'll have to navigate down the mountain once you get to the other side of
That's okay. I can get us through.
the road. Look at it as if you hit that on the east side. There's a mountain still
You
in
could
the
go
way.
south a little bit towards where those trees are, or we could even follow that road down to that little bridge and then just go up the river to the ruins.
You guys, I have experience traversing mountains my whole life. I can get us through the mountains just as fast as if we were going through any kind of other terrain. The mountains will be no problem for us. Shall we get started?
Lead the way.
Okay. Sorry, I was just double checking, make sure, because I knew
Yeah.
it was forest, but I'm really, is it forest
Yeah.
and mountains? But sure enough, it is. Fucker.
It was like when we leveled up the last time I got to. So. Yeah,
really?
it wasn't,
God
I
damn
haven't
it.
always had it.
All right. Well, by reading that, I just learned another thing though. So, as you guys go down, I'm assuming you guys still take the path down the hill, just for ease of sake.
I'm gonna run off the edge of the cliff, and then right before I hit the ground, press the button on the staff.
Yes, 100% yes, we're gonna do this. All right. While he's doing that, let me think this through. What does everyone else do? Esmeralda is like
I'm
taking
going down the
down the
path.
hill.
I'm going down the path as well.
All right. All right. While the others are going down the path,
I'll
Lucan.
meet you guys at the bottom.
Fury also goes down the path. No, Fury stays up to watch your genius plan. Yeah, he's Fury. Okay, so Fury stays up to watch your plan. The other three start heading down the mountain. Okay, so Lucan, walk us
So-
through this as you're sprinting towards eastward, off the hill, full speed. You
Yep.
jump at the last second, and you have good trajectory, and you're able to clear
Okay.
the first path
Yeah.
underneath.
So I guess how like
Um,
so I clear the first path. Like how many like is it like a long ways down? Am I gonna hit the ground at the base, or is there like will I like land at like a level?
so it's so good question. So the hill is again 300 feet tall, and I would say each, like if you look down, like a path that's like
Okay.
20 feet wide, continues downward, like 20 feet out, like starting now and then 20 feet out is a path, like say 20 feet below or 100 feet below, and then below that another 100 or so feet is another 20-foot wide path. So I would say it's only 40 to 50 feet outwards to get to like hit the
Yeah.
base of the hill, and then even then each 20-foot ledge, each 20-foot wide ledge is about 100 or to 150 feet down. So you have some distance falling wise to have your inertia to like,
Okay.
kick
So
you
will
out
I make it to
away.
like the second ledge, or will I clear that too?
Go ahead and make an athletics check.
Nine.
So as you start sprinting off the first ledge and you kind of get a good grasp on the ground to push off, your foot does slip a little bit. You seem to have stepped on like solely just a rock that gave way under your weight. So you weren't able to get enough force as behind to clear both. So you're right now, it looks like you're about going to land about 100 feet down on
Okay.
the first level of path.
I'm going to when I guess that I'm about 20 to 15 feet off the ground, I'm going to press the button.
Okay. So you pull out. The rod is in your hand, and how are you holding it?
I'm
Like-
holding it like double gripped, like basically like how you like a bench press like type of form, like where I have like both hands around like a quarter in from the ends of the staff, like.
Okay, and are you holding it straight out, or above your head, or below you?
I'm holding it like above my head. Mhm.
Above your head. All right. So as you jump off and you don't get a full grasp, you start to kind of fall, and it looks like you're landing on the first path. When you're about 15 or 20 feet above the ground, go ahead and make a go ahead and make a athletics check for like a what do you guys? Okay, I'm basically saying hand-eye coordination right now. Do you think that's athletics or
I'd say
acrobatics?
athletics. Meta. I think
Okay,
I know where this is
so
going.
go ahead and
I really hope it happens.
Oh, yep. Okay, go ahead, Luke, and go ahead and make a athletics check.
Natural 20.
All right, so your hand-eye coordination is pretty good, and when you're about 20 feet from the ground, 20 to 15, you hit the button perfectly. Go ahead and make a strength check. Just straight up strength.
Mm-hmm. 14.
So you're able to stop the rod. However, as soon as you hit this button, this rod just stopped immediately in midair. Your force of your body was so much from this 100-foot fall that your grasp just isn't able to keep onto this rod, and you just keep going. Your hands slip off. Boom! Right into the ground. You're kind of like thrown a little on your back. And from, I would say you kind of slowed yourself down a little bit, but you still had probably 50 feet worth of bludgeoning
come on.
damage.
I would have slowed myself more than that.
Yes. Nope. Because, like, your weight just took you. Give me 1 second.
Meta, that's where I thought was going to happen.
While this is happening, what are you guys talking about? What is the group talking about?
I scampered off to go pee on a tree.
There wasn't really trees anywhere.
I'm not really saying anything, I
Okay.
guess. Just kind of walk in silence.
Okay. I gotta pull out a calculator for this. So, it was... Oh, JK. I rolled way too many dice. So, falling damage is 1d6 for every 10 feet. So since I cut it in half to 50 feet, it's 5, obviously. And 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 points of damage you took from this fall. And now the rod sits 20 feet above your head.
I'm just gonna lay there and wait for the rest of it to come down the hill.
So a few minutes come by and you're just like absolutely in pain. And Fury also jumps, but right before he hits the ground, does feather fall and softly lands right by you. As the group is around the corner and sees the two of you.
Did Fury grab the staff on his feather fall?
He did not.
Sounds like a real Fury thing to do.
He kind of just was more entertained at your mishap and just wanted to like talk to you and.
Can you heal me, Fury, and help me up?
Nope. That was your own doing. Should have thought that through more.
Oh, come on, just at least help me up.
How much is it worth to you?
Never mind. I'm just gonna lay it back, wait for the rest of them to.
So yep, the rest of the group catches up to you and just finds you. Fury kind of looking over you, and Lucan just flat on his back, motionless, eyes open, but just the wind just got knocked out of him. Oh, like times 10.
Hey, can one of you help me up and give me some healing? My plan didn't work.
Esmeralda helps you up. Sorry, I don't have any healing for you.
I come
Nith,
over.
would you mind?
Yeah, I come over and cast. I just have to pull it up 1 second.
So I had multiple things. If you jumped with your hand straight out, I would have made you roll advantage, or made you roll a disadvantage, because your weight would have even carried you more. And then I was really hoping that you would like somehow like go with it like underneath you / like in your chest. So as soon as you hit the button, you just land on a bar for after 100 feet of falling.
I cast Cure Wounds, and you get 8 points of damage back,
Thanks, Nith.
or 8 points of dealing.
Do you mind if I, could you give me a boost so I can grab the staff?
I can try. How high up is it? Okay.
It's 20.
So I kind of do like I inform you like go stand over there and then run towards me, and then kind of like if we were throwing you up a wall, like I'll have my hands ready to step and I'll throw you up.
Okay.
Yep.
Go ahead and make a strength check, Nith. And Lucan, go ahead and make an acrobatics check.
15.
I rolled a 2. Well, yeah.
Oh.
My modifier's not-
So that's still a 6. So as Lucan kind of runs at Nith, kind of braces for it, and crosses his fingers, getting ready for Lucan to plant a foot. And when Lucan plants a foot, Nith, your fingers kind of just weren't together 100% and just break. Lucan foot goes shooting through, weight carries with him, and just face plants right into Nith's chest.
How about we try that again and you catch me this time?
All right.
Okay, I'm gonna go back and run again.
All right, both strength and
19.
same rolls as before.
Yeah,
Go ahead and
16.
roll those. 19. Okay.
I had 15
Again?
first time, and now I got a 16.
Oh, okay. Again, same thing happens. Lucan, you come running, trying to get. You had about a 20-foot head start, and you come full speed. Nith this time has a good grip. As you plant a foot, he kind of lifts you up, and he's able to give you enough height. Go ahead and make Lucan a strength check now.
Strength check.
Also, as he's in the air, I'm like preparing to like try to catch him.
11.
11. Just enough. You're able to get one hand kind of around it, and he grasp on just enough strength to get yourself settled, and you pull your other hand up, and your thumb is over the button.
Okay, I'm just gonna like repeatedly press the button on and off until I like slowly like work my way back down to the ground.
Okay. You guys hear kind of clicks, and you hear a and Lucan drops about 2 feet. He kind of has to get himself resituated from the fall, and then you hear another like 3 feet. And he slowly makes his way until he's about 10 feet. His feet are about 10 feet off the ground. Easy enough for Nith to, if wanted to, could easily just reach him. Nith, do you just let him go, though? Like, just
Sorry, say that one more time.
So, like, now he's like, his feet are about like 10 feet above the ground, to the point where if you wanted to, you could easily reach him. Stretch your arms out and reach him.
I just let him continue clicking his way down, yeah.
Okay. So he continues to click his way down until his feet hang about 5 feet off the ground. And finally, Lucan, you just do one final release and just take the 5 feet fall. Bracing yourself pretty well, no damage done. Still feel like you got the wind knocked out of you from just a few moments before.
Oh, I'm just gonna walk the rest of the way with you guys.
Okay. Esmeralda kind of chimes in. So, how was that?
Yeah.
Talking to Lucan, obviously.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought it would work better than it did, but it was not probably the smartest decision to try and do that.
Would you say the immovable rod is immovable?
Yeah, that's fair to say.
Hey Google, stop. Oh, I didn't mute myself.
What's a Google?
So you guys kind of walk the rest of the way down. Sorry. Somehow immovable rod is a pretty one. And it picked up on
Corey,
it.
what do you do with your Google?
Yeah. I'll tell you later. So as you guys continue to walk down the hill, making your ways around, nothing seems out of the ordinary. Seems a lot more peaceful and lighthearted than the previous time going up the hill. It just seems a lot less stressful at the time being. In the distance, you hear crows and wolves coming from all around you, but like far, far off. Nothing out of the ordinary from what you've already been hearing throughout your time in Barovia. It takes probably a good 30 or so minutes to make your way down the hill just due to the distance. And just the time that you guys were kind of taking with Lucan. But you, after a while, you make it to the edge. And you're at the bottom of the hill. So, we take the path or we go woods?
Fuck it, let's go with woods.
Woods.
Okay. Okay.
All right. And then I'm
Looking
gonna
away.
lead the way towards like the pond on the map Jacob was pointing at.
Kind of southeastwards.
Yeah.
Wait, sorry. You said you're
Niff,
going where?
You said you thought you knew where the swamp was, right?
So, where are we at on the map? Or meta. This is a meta.
Yep. So if you look at the map, you know you're
Yep.
far left side of the map, kind of the weirdest object, lowest, just above what looks to be a river. Kind of looks like a statue.
Oh,
on a
so
hill.
we're south
Dotted
of
line heading northwards.
the hill with the statue at that river.
No, you're just north. You're at
Yep,
the
and so
hill
we're,
with the
like,
statue
dotted
on it in the
lines.
map. The dotted lines is like a man-made trail, not much of a road leading northwards.
Okay,
from
so I'm just pointing to the rest of the group.
hill.
Well, if we follow this man-made trail then we can cut east through the woods and match up here where the road through the mountains goes east to west. And then we could follow that down south until it gets to that little bridge, and then go north up the river and get there. Or once we start to go south a little bit on the road from where it's going east to west through the mountains, we could then cut through the forest and just go straight east towards the ruins. A couple different options. But I think
where is it that you think the swamp is?
where like the little ruins are on the map. So like on the map, I think go north on this man-made trail. Go northeast for a little bit, and then we cut straight east.
I got the path. I got the path through the mountains, but I'm like missing where the ruins are that you're talking about.
Yeah, here, give me 1 second. I'll So the man-made, or not the man-made path, but the road that cuts through the mountains.
Yeah.
The little piece that goes straight east to west, pretty much. I think the ruins are the ones that are just a little bit more east.
Oh, I see.
Below the one castle.
Okay. That was Argonavold's castle.
Yep. So yeah, south of that castle, next to the river.
Gotcha. Yeah, it should be a pretty short journey there.
So let me get this straight. So you guys are gonna take the path, jump on the main path once you start heading through the mountains.
Here, I'll do it.
And you're gonna follow that path down south to the bridge that crosses the river, and then follow the river
We're
north.
just gonna go straight.
Yeah.
Nope, you're just gonna take straight cross.
Basically direct east.
Okay.
But when we meet
Directly
up with,
east. Okay.
but when we meet up with the part of the road that goes east to west, we'll follow the road until the road doesn't go.
Right.
Until the road doesn't go east anymore, and then we're gonna keep going east towards the ruins.
Understandable. Okay. So you guys start heading a little north, just following that man-made trail for a little bit, ever so slightly, and you guys walk for about 20 minutes or so. Travel.
I sent you a snap, Corey. I sent you a snap to better
What?
show what I was meaning.
Loading.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. Cool. So you kind of head up north on that path for a little bit, for about a mile. until you feel like it's quite good enough to where you can start heading directly east until you hit the path. So Lucan, I need you to make a wisdom check. With an advantage. I'll give you an advantage. You're on mute.
Yeah, I have an advantage because it's in my terrain. I have advantage on intelligence or wisdom checks.
Okay.
But you want me to make wisdom, right? Yeah.
Yep.
19.
All right. So you for the months you've spent in Barovia, you're getting very familiar with the woods and the surrounding woods of the land. So you guys are starting to hike through. How are you guys lined up? Are you in single file, or are you kind of like strewn across in a line? The trees are pretty far apart. Like as you look up, they cover much of the sky, but wide enough down below that if you ever needed to, you could like ride a horse through, no problem.
I'm first.
Okay.
I'm going second, just kind of following.
I'll be in the middle.
Okay. And then we'll go Esmeralda followed by Fury. And you guys are going single file. After about an hour worth of walking, you notice that the land is starting to have kind of a grade to it. It seems that you guys are kind of working uphill. You guys are still able to travel through it, no problem. And as you guys get kind of get closer to what you think is getting more towards mountainous terrain, the trees become a little more frosty. Patches of snow are starting to be spotted, and then before you know it, the ground is completely covered in frost, or not frost, but in snow. It's colder, it's drier. You guys haven't really experienced this type of terrain or weather/terrain in Barovia, but it's just your typical weather that you see with mountains from your guys' homelands. At this rate, probably you've gone on for about 2 or so hours. You are fully, for sure, in the mountains, up and down hills now. Trees are getting a little more sparse as you rise in elevation, and eventually you come across this large path that's running north to south, and it's about 30 feet or so wide. It seems to be a lot more traveled. The snow seems to be packed down. Occasionally, it seems so packed down that you can't see what exactly is traveling through. Occasionally, you see a wagon wheel cutting through, and then other times you see footprints, whether of creatures or sometimes even skeletal feet. Sometimes kind of looks like it has some meat on it. Other times it looks very bony. But you guys know from looking at the map, your safest bet is probably to head southwards on this trail and just take it. What? As you guys travel, is there anything you guys want to talk about? Anything you want to do or say?
Terrible weather that we're having here. Tough crowd.
You know, Sir Eldridge, I was pretty skeptical of you right away, but I'm glad that you joined our group.
Well, thank you. You know, those other people that I came here on the ship with, they just weren't nearly as entertaining as you all.
How did you get here again? Sir Eldridge?
Like the other guys. I got a envelope, and I met some people on a ship, and then this mist came, and, well, we woke up here.
And since you got here, how has your journey been compared to this group's?
You mean my time with the other group compared to my time with this group?
Yeah, where have you visited?
Mostly taverns. I think we went to the Vistani party or whatever. You know, that was a lot of fun.
You hear Fury in the back. You mean festivals?
I'm pretty sure it was a party.
Sir Eldridge, I'm sorry about the hard time Fury. He just has a hard time getting used to people.
I see.
Don't take it personally. He's just starting to warm up to.
Yeah, I've noticed he could be a little bit of a hard ass sometimes, but we've all gotta be like that. So. How long do you guys think it's going to take us to get to wherever we're going?
So as you guys continue to walk, we'll pick up that question in just a few minutes. But the train is starting to shift even a little more. Now the snow is starting to turn into ice sheets. It appears that you've kind of made your way onto a side of a mountain. Just a sheer ice wall to your right, and then just on the other side of the path on your right is just a cliff drop. The wind is picking up as you guys get higher and higher. Starting to even snow, and as you look up the path upwards and in front of you, it appears to be even blizzardous conditions off in the distance.
But the mist
going back
isn't around, it's just blizzardous conditions.
Yeah, it's just blizzardous conditions.
Okay.
there's kind of like a fog, I guess, below if you look like down below, but it's like a fog due to your elevation, like as if you're almost
Okay.
in the clouds
Okay.
/ in the clouds. Did not want that. As you guys continue to moving on the
Is it like? I'm gonna it's like, is it like really cold or not too bad?
Oh yeah, it's below freezing. You guys are pretty chilled, but like you guys, I'm just assuming you guys are prepared, or / smart to like handle it. Fury kind of has like his hands a little glowing warm, to keep himself warm. Esmeralda has been just put on some gloves that she had on her the whole time. She's worn this long tail red coat. She's always had high brown boots on her.
I was gonna, because
her
I
real
took a
leg.
fur coat from the druid that we killed in the winery. So I was gonna say,
That's
if
right.
I did too, I could put that.
But as you guys wind around this mountain pass, you start to realize after a few minutes of going around another curve that this curve seems to be starting to head more permanently south.
If we look at the map, maybe this is where we should leave the road to go east.
The only downside to this plan, as you look out, is you are on the side of a mountain, and the direction you would like to go to continue your shortcut is down a mountain, and unfortunately you cannot see more than say 100 feet below you due to the fog that is coagulating.
So we could either go straight east, or look at the map, we could go continue south until we get to the river and then just work our way up the river. What do you guys think?
I think we should just stick on the path. I think it's just going to be the safest option. But
I would agree.
Lucan, your input. Fury just chimes. Esmeralda's
sorry,
like, I agree.
I was,
Fury
like,
chimes in and goes, I really don't care where we go.
Let's go south until we get to like where the forest is, and if we can get off the path at that point, if we don't have to go all the way down to the river, that might save us like a couple hours to not have to go all the way south before going back up. Like, even if we could go like 3/4 of the way down this path and then cut over east, and then start going northeast again.
So you guys start heading, continuing continuing to stay on the path and start heading south. The blizzard at this point, you seem to be in the worst of the blizzard. Snow kind of is blowing all around, being kicked up from the ground, being thrown into your face. The wind is probably blowing 20 miles per hour or so, coming directly from the south direction. Your noses and your cheeks are starting to get a little colder and a little more solid due to the cold. Your noses are starting to run a lot. The ends of your toes and fingers are starting to be a little in pain due to the cold. As you guys travel farther south, so you still are kind of like working your way around the mountains. Sheer ice building to your left side of you, and a drop is on your right. Or, I'm sorry, opposite. Ice wall is built up on your right, and the drop is on your left. However, it does seem that you're starting to make your way down the mountains. Just a little lower elevation than what you were before, to the point where the fog is starting to dissipate and you can start seeing the top of the trees again down below, which is still quite a distance though.
Is it like too steep to manage?
Fury kind of I mean, you will definitely need to use athletics to mangle your way down, but I wouldn't like it's rock climbing.
Okay, we'll keep going south then.
Okay. Fury kind of chimes in, and Fury kind of chimes in. He goes, "Well, we can jump again, but I only have 3 feather. Well,
Let's just keep going south.
okay."
No, Joe would never offer a feather for us.
Okay. I tried.
He has in the past, but it's rare.
As you guys continue to make your way to the south, coming from the path in front of you, you start to see this large structure. As you look off to the right, the ground falls away. The fog seems to have reappeared. The wind and the snow is still just being blown right at you. But in front of you, you see this high wall of black stone lined with spikes. On the top of these walls, you see like kind of demonic statues with more like demonic vultures of a sort with
Do I
horned
recognize them?
heads. Not specifically, no. Set in the center of the wall is this closed iron portcullis, which behind of it burns this green flame. On the other side of the dark wall, gripping the mountain's edge, is a guard tower of white stone, toppled by golden statues of mighty warriors.
Where is this?
This is on the path right in front of you, as if it's a gate.
But we're still heading like south, like we haven't gotten to the river yet.
You would say this is about the area of the river. If anything, this is probably like the bridge that goes above the river. But you're thinking it's more of a bridge, more than just a bridge now.
So it's like but all we see is do we actually see a bridge, or is it just like this statue?
You right in front of you is a wall with a gate, and a flame behind the gate. On top of this wall are two.
So we can't
statues.
see beyond it because it's like a wall that has a gate.
No.
Is the gate like a bar
really.
door, or is it like a wooden gate that we can't like? Can we see through it?
You can see through the gate, but just beyond that gate, there's appears to be this green curtain of flames filling the space. Yeah.
Fury, you should try and open the gate.
Okay. He's about to, but then he's kind of stops and looks at you, and why don't you open it, leader boy?
You've always been the one to not afraid to do anything or open anything. And plus it's fire in there and you can't be hurt by fire.
I can be hurt, just not as much as you.
Right, exactly.
So he's okay, but if I make it through, I'll leave you guys. So he kind of walks over to the gate, and he's able to open the gate just fine. He opens the gate, and this green fire, the fire is just burning. And he takes one last look at you, and he just walks into the flame. As he walks in, this bright yellow appears in the flames right where he was. But he makes it through.
Does he shout to us when he makes it to the other side?
If he does, you can't hear him due to the roaring of the flames.
Who's next?
I guess I'll go.
Esmeralda chimes in. Hold on. This is a green flame. From my past, I know this is magical. Do any of you have a dispel of any sorts?
What kind of spell?
A
Oh.
dispel.
Oh. No, I only have dat spell.
That's
Uh,
nice.
I don't have any spells.
A dispel
Oh,
magic or
Dispel.
a an anti-magic field of any sorts? I
don't either.
All I have is oh, wrong person. All I have is shield that would work probably the best. But even then, I don't think it will work too well.
Why don't you think we can just walk through it?
It's fire. It's damaging.
But Fury seemed to be okay.
Well, Fury's also resistant to fire.
How much snow is around us?
Uh,
I start
Quite a
taking
bit.
handfuls of snow and like throwing it on the flame.
As you throw it, the snowballs go through, and as they go through the flame, you hear a sizzling happening. Not sure 100% what exactly is going through or what is making through it. However, after like the fifth or sixth snowball that you throw through, a smaller snowball comes back through towards you.
It gets thrown back at me.
Oh yeah, it had some heft.
I dodge it.
Go ahead and make a acrobatics.
16. Where's acrobat? Oh, it's right at the very top. Okay. 19.
You dodge it just fine. Esmeralda, as you're doing this, is just looking at the wall, and so the wall like builds off and goes off the cliff, but then also the wall like builds into the cliff on the other end. So at this point, she kind of like rotates her foot like she's done before when she's climbing a mountain, to the point where she has kind of knives sticking out, and she begins takes out her hand axe, and she moves over and starts climbing up the side to get over. she makes her way up with a successful athletics check, and she kind of hops over.
Well, we're trying to go north, so I don't really know why we're crossing this point, I guess. Corey, so say I'm facing the gate. I look to my left.
Yep.
What do I see?
Yep. A drop off. Down, you see down the hill, or down the mountain. You seem to be lower to the point where like the fog is no longer an issue to see through, and you see tops
But
of
they're far
trees.
down.
But there's still like, yeah, there's still quite a bit of distance down, like another, I'd say
What
100,
degree is the
150
slope?
feet down. I would say it's like for the first 20 feet, it's a complete drop off. And then from there, it starts to like level out at like a 60-degree grade. Or not 60 degree, a 60% grade. So it's still pretty steep.
Nith, what do you think?
Well, I'm resistant to fire, so I can just walk through. Or at least I think I can just walk through.
But what happens on the other side? Like, we're kind of going in the wrong direction at that point.
Yeah, my only question would be if we were to go up. Well, yeah, because we'd probably assume that it's going to be the same drop off on the other side of the bridge too.
So I'm almost wondering if, like, we find a way to scale this 20-foot ledge, and then I think the rest of it should be manageable down to the forest.
Yeah.
At this point, Esmeralda kind of climbs back over the wall with Fury and Tail. And they come over to you guys and goes, "What's taking you guys so long?" But Fury chimes in and goes, "Yeah, that fire is bad news. It does some damage. Kind of a lot. And I'm resistant."
Yeah, we were thinking that we maybe shouldn't go that way.
And you said it's just 20 feet down until it's manageable?
Yep.
I'm sorry if you...
Esmeralda chimes up. "Does anyone have a rope?"
Yes.
You don't.
I think...
Because remember, yours broke when you tied it around the tree.
Oh, yeah, but don't I have any of that rope yet?
I guess, yeah.
Yeah.
So you have 30 feet.
I have rope.
Okay. How long is your
50
rope?
feet.
All right. Give me your rope. And then she points to Lucan. "You, give me your rod."
The rod?
Otherwise,
Rod.
you could use me
Give me
as
the
an
rod.
anchor, and then I'll just teleport down.
Oh, I was thinking Fury here could do his feather fall again.
We shouldn't need Featherfall for 20 feet.
All right. Give me the rod. You give me the rope, and then you, pointing at Nith, you can take it all and transport down.
I hand her the rope.
Okay.
30.
How far can you transport, Nith? 30. Okay. So
No, hey,
she takes the
I'll,
rod
I'll just
from
stay up here.
Lucan.
I'll stay up here with the rod.
What?
You go first.
Well,
Why?
give me the rod, and just let me tie
here
it.
you go.
Cause I'm getting us here out. So she takes the rod, takes the rope, and she puts the rod down close to the edge, about like 2 inches from the ground, and presses the button, and there it stands. She takes the rope, winds it underneath, ties it, and then throws the rest of the rope off the ledge. Alright, who's first?
I can go first.
Okay. You kind of slowly put one leg over the edge, grab onto the rope as you're holding on with the rope and the bar, and then you release your second leg over the ledge, and then move your other hand to the rope. And then from there, you're able to belay yourself down to kind of a small ledge that's at the bottom of the 20-foot drop to kind of stand on. All right, who's next?
Who's left?
Fury chimes up and goes, "I'll go." And again, much like Sir Eldridge, he kind of grabs it and jumps over and just starts belaying himself down. And again, also fits on the ledge.
How are they going down?
So now they're
What is-
just belaying themselves, like just using the rope
What's
to like
belay?
inch our ways down.
Inch your way down.
Like yeah,
Like
it's like a
repelling?
climbing term.
No,
Yeah, repelling.
no.
Like
Belaying's
same thing.
different. Trust me, I'm a doctor.
Okay. Sure. Esmeralda goes next after Fury. She kind of continues to have her knife out, and so she's able to like gives herself extra support and kicks into the wall as she lowers herself, and then again makes her way to the ledge. As if you guys look over, and then for Sarah Eldridge, if you're standing on the ledge, it's about 5 feet wide, and probably 20 feet long. So there's room for all of you to stand on it if need be. But it doesn't go very far. So all that's left up top is
Yep, and I'll go next.
Lucan and Nif. Okay. You're able to you rappel down, no problem. You get situated on the ledge, and then Lucan is left up top.
I'll I'll grab the rod and I'll like hit the button, and then I'll get on it kind of like a witch's broomstick, and like slow, and then like jump, and then like just like click 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 click, and just like ride it down.
So do you kind of like jump off the edge to ride it?
Well, not like a big jump, just like enough to like clear the ledge though, like just
Clear the edge, but not too far where you're like out over the 5-foot edge below. All right. So you're clicking, and every click where you stop, you're getting more and more comfortable, or more and more uncomfortable, because your weight is still like coming down on this fall, but you're landing split-legged basically on this. You're still like falling 2 or so feet onto this solid metal bar.
No,
And
my
just
like
racking
legs are
yourself
like
every
wrapped
time.
around it though. Like, you know, like you know what I'm saying? Like
Not
a
really,
fireman's-
because it's
like a fireman's
not like
pole,
a-
kinda.
it's not that. So like you're holding it like a fireman's pole, not like a.
Well,
I thought you're riding it like a witch's
Well,
broom.
I mean, like either way, I meant my like legs would be wrapped around it too. So I guess more like a fireman's pole.
Right, but it's not girthy. So like, as much as your legs wrap around it, there's still plenty of room for it to move inside. If that makes sense. I'm not saying you get any damage. I'm just saying like you get to the bottom of it and you're kind of walking like you're in a western.
Okay.
Kind of broad-legged.
I'll
Letting the
give
boys air out a little bit.
I'll like take wrap up the rope and give it back to Sir Aldridge.
All right. Oh shit. So, so you guys all need to do athletic checks to make your way down the rest of this hill. Esmeralda just rolled 2 natural 20s because I gave her advantage because she has the knife in her boot to give her kind of stability. So she makes her way with ease, as if she's a climbing pro, traversing here and there just to get better foot grabs. But she moves so fast down this hill that it almost looks like she's fallen, but falling with style.
Which one are we rolling for?
Athletics.
I got a 13.
I got
All right.
an 11.
Guys, we are doing great so far.
17.
All right. Oh, and I gotta do Fury. That is a 18. So Lucan and Fury are able to just, again, with ease, cautiously putting a foot here and there, just for safety, is able to make their way down. Lucan and Nith, on the other hand, Lucan's definitely doing better than Nith. With a few pauses, Lucan, you're able to make your way down. Nith, on the other hand, due to your size and just weight, some holds just aren't able to support you like they supported the rest of the group. And occasionally, as you come down, your foot will slip. With that tense happen, you're tensing up, you're dragging claws a little heavier in the side of the wall. And you guys, it was still probably about 200 feet down. Occasionally there would be a tree growing out that you were able to like hold yourself onto and steady. But it was about 200 feet down before you started to get on more solid ground where you could just walk at a steeper slope. But after some time of traversing, you make your way down to the point where you make the bed or not to the bed, but you make it to the edge of the river. All of you are intact, just fine. too. Do we keep going north, follow the river, or do we start trying to cut through directly off the river through the woods? Esmeralda chimes in, like, talking to you all, but mostly Lucan.
Yeah, let's stay at like the edge of the forest, near the river.
So as you guys make your way north following the river, you guys are going with this stream. This stream, or this river, seems to be flowing from south to north, coming from the mountains, and you're assuming towards the direction of Valaki, into Lake Zervich. After you guys walk for a little bit, you notice that it's starting to get a little more type, lot softer, spongy. And now you guys are traveling in a environment that you are not familiar with, Lucan. And at this time, it slows down quite a bit, your progression through the land. You guys are no longer freezing, but you're still kind of uncomfortable cold now, especially since you're kind of occasionally even get up to like half leg, knee deep water, soaking wet in some places. As you guys make your way through, what kind of conversation's happening?
Are we in like marsh now, or what is like the actual terrain?
It's marsh, swamp.
But there's snow?
No, there's no snow. There's no snow. It's just still, it's above freezing. It's just, you guys are still cold from wandering. However,
But I'm assuming the water's pretty cold. Like, it's probably like what, 50 degrees maybe.
yeah, like it's still uncomfortable. You guys are still uncomfortable, and it's like you guys are still like freezing cold, figuratively. As you guys,
I think we're getting close, so we should maybe
try
and travel as like quietly as possible from here, and like watch for traps.
As you guys still travel north up this river, occasionally there'll be some streams flowing in from the east and the west, feeding in. At times, this river gets up to about 400 feet wide. You never get deep.
Well, I didn't think we were like.
It never gets really deep.
We're not like walking in the river, are we?
Not directly, but like the land around it is pretty marshy-ish. So occasionally, like you're still walking in grass, but occasionally,
I just wanted to be clear
flooded.
That main channel.
Yeah. You guys have any conversations as this is happening?
I'm keeping quiet and keeping my eyes open for like traps or like any movement or people, or like just trying to be stealthy and quiet.
Sure. Well, you said it. Go ahead and make a stealth roll. And is anyone else trying to be
Sure.
stealthy? Or... Okay.
Fuck. Oh, fuck. I really wish that would have rolled off the table.
Dirty 20.
I got a 2. Oh! Wait. Yeah, we're gonna go with the 2.
Okay. So, anyone else? So, Lucan, you're like
Oh, fuck.
dragging your feet through the water, making no sound, and not make like ripples will come off, but you're not making any startling sounds. On the other hand, Sir Eldridge is like repulsed by this condition. It's disgusting. It's muggy, not muggy, but it's disgusting. It's muddy. He's uncomfortable, and every step he takes is a high step out of mud into mud, and you just hear this constant as he takes a step more and more into the swamp areas. Occasionally, it goes a little quiet, making his way out.
This shit smells like the bonds of elderberry.
There seems to be kind of a fog collecting as you guys kind of make it lower and lower off of the mountains in this swamp area. It's getting very eerie feeling to the point where you probably, if you had a guess, you probably couldn't see more than 150 feet ahead of you. As you guys continue, you assume by now you have to, and however, Lucan, since you're the first one in front with high stealth as well, you see off in the distance about 150 feet out, however, across the river, a lantern shining in the fog, and a shadow of a figure holding the lantern just behind it, waving at you all, trying to get your attention.
Across the river, though.
Yep. At this point, the river seems to be about 100 feet wide. So it's just on the other bank of the river, just barely make out a figure with a
Across
lantern.
the river.
As you cross the river, the water seems to get a little deeper. At one point, it's probably up to your waist. Occasionally, you bob down and it gets up to your chest. But other than that, it's surprisingly pretty shallow for the size you assume it is. And you make your way across the river. As you cross, the figure on the other side becomes more and more clear. It appears to be this woman with dark black straight hair, dressed in this purple color, very worn and used, and raggedy, but not like poor raggedy, more like just a wilderness raggedy, if that makes sense. What is the rest of the group doing, by the way?
Are we able to see the lantern? Or do we just see him take off swimming?
You guys could see the lantern as he was making his direction towards it.
What do you guys think? Should we follow?
Well, I don't know. I've heard rumors about this place. Esmeralda
Like-
chimes in. Fury's like, fuck it, and just starts heading
I follow
also
Fury.
across the river.
I follow as well.
All right. And Esmeralda's like, oh fuck, and follows, and now is in the back of the group. You guys make your way, and again you see this woman, and she kind of whispers to you all, "What are you doing here?"
Does she face us?
Yeah, she faces you. She was trying to get your attention, and
What
she's
are
like,
you
"What
doing
you
here?"
guys here?" I watched this place. Keep tabs on it.
Who are you?
My name's Muriel Vinshaw.
Meta, can you say that like loud and clearly?
Muriel Vinshaw.
Okay, I'm gonna try. and repeat
Mariel.
Muriel Vinshaw.
that. Muriel Winchaw.
Ven. Like vector.
Muriel Vinchaw.
Shaw.
As in, that's like her whole name.
Like that's her first
Okay,
and
so
last name.
Vinshaw
Yes.
is her last name. Okay.
Yes. As you guys look around, you notice that there seems to be this circle of standing stones, that you guys are standing in the middle of. Probably a good perfect circle, pretty close to a perfect circle, 50 feet to each side, so a full diameter of 100 feet. You guys are still kind of in this spongy, boggy, marshy kind of
My name is
land.
Lucan Skyhawker.
Hello, Lucan.
Yeah.
And to the rest of you?
You can call me Nif.
Introductions happen, and she's like, so again, what are you guys doing?
We came to retrieve something from Baba Yaska.
retrieve something. Oh, so you do know what's here.
Yes. Do you know what's here?
Okay.
Are we speaking of the same thing?
Yes, I just confirmed it. Now she kind of has this puzzled look at your face, and she's like, maybe
What
not
are you?
now?
What did you confirm that is here?
Baba Yaska herself.
We're after something else that Baba Yaska stole from us. Right.
Stole from you. What did she steal from you?
I'm gonna like sideways glance at the rest of the group, and like, I don't know if I should say it or not.
She just stole something that, while it doesn't have any value in resale, it has a lot to our group.
Will you help us retrieve it?
Go ahead and make a deception check.
Like both, or like Jake to Nith or me?
Both of
Do you want us each
Nith
to make a
and
check,
Lucan.
or can I just help Nith?
I would say you make the check with Nith. So I would say just Lucan with a deception, but with
I rolled the
advantage for
dirty
Nith's help.
20. Oh,
Nope, just Lucan, sorry, is rolling. But he gets an advantage because
Okay,
he
I
kind of
see.
chimed in and helped. Yeah.
$17.
She kind of like squints her eyes at you. Something she feels a little off by the look of her face. Uh, she does an insight check.
Seeing her confusion, can I like distract her with
Go for it.
I maybe misheard. You said you're here for Baba Yaska. You know, what do you want with her? I don't know if I'd already stated that or not.
I keep tabs on her whereabouts and her movement for a
Are
group.
you wanting her to be removed from the picture or what?
Yes, but not by
I
myself.
asked because if you were to, assist us retrieving our item of value, chances are we could, in that quest help you take care of Baba Yaska.
Of course. However, I would like my item of value as well.
What is your item of value?
And at that, we are going to call it a night.
Okay.